Hello. Today I thought I would share something that I had thought about while walking up here in Wytham Woods in Oxford. And this is a very old woods, lots and lots of different pathways, and it's hilly and there's some valleys, and it's just very, very beautiful here. But I thought I've passed some trees today that have probably, in my estimation, been around several hundred years. Let's just say they were anywhere between 200 and 500 years. In fact, I think I've passed trees that were probably nearly 1,000 years old. And it just got me thinking, here I am, 60 years old, and here is a tree that I'm walking by that's been around, 400 years before me, and will probably be around hundreds of years after I've passed away. When you think that the span of a human life can be anywhere up to 100 years old, which is quite old for a human. And there are exceptions, obviously. And we can pass away earlier, and we can pass away, we can live a really good life and a long life and live till we're quite old. But when you think and just ponder on the fact that a tree has been around for, let's just say, 400 years before you were born, and you will live anywhere up to 100 years, so that tree will then be 500 years old, and that tree has got the potential to be around for another 500 years. It just puts things into perspective about how many lifetimes a tree has lived, in human years. And it just really makes you feel, it's a little bit like looking up at the stars and realizing that the galaxies and the stars and the planets and everything have been around for billions of years, and this is kind of macrocosmic level, really, when you think about a tree. Okay, apologies for that. I had a big military plane flying over. It goes on a circle around Oxfordshire, from Benson military base, so yeah, it's rather loud. But yeah, going back to my subject, it's sort of in a macrocosm of thought, really, and viewpoint about the length of our lifetime compared to a tree. And again, not all trees live that long. Some trees only last 50 years, and some trees will last 1,000 or more years. But from a human level, it just makes you think. It kind of puts into perspective how short a lifespan we really have. And on a reflective note, again, what are we putting into our short time on this planet? What are we getting out of it? What are we giving back? What are we exchanging? What are we experiencing? Are we actually... Because time is relatively short in our lifetime, are we spending all of our time in front of a TV vegetating? When you think about the figures involved, and I don't know what they are off the top of my head, but when you think about the figures involved about sleeping, always makes me smile. When people say, well, actually we spend X amount of years of our lifetime typically just sleeping. And we need sleep. We have to have sleep. As humans, if we don't have sleep, it degenerates our health and our mindset, etc. And it's important. It's important to our life and our being. But, in between sleeps, how much of that are we spending just on really, menial stuff that doesn't actually accomplish anything for your brain? Yes, we need... we need rest, we need entertainment, we need, activity, we need work and all of those things. But it's just interesting to reflect on, looking at a tree. Just look at a tree the next time you go out for a walk somewhere. Try and find what you believe to be the oldest tree. I mean, we don't really know a lot of, at the time how old a tree is, but we can kind of guess, that a tree's width is X amount of years. And you look at the size of some of these trees that are actually in this wood, for instance, and you see another tree, and then you see another tree, and I've just seen yet another tree that looks like an amalgamation of trees that have all, over the hundreds of years or whatever, have kind of all twisted, and branches have fallen off and things have fallen on the ground, but it's just immense, really. And then it just made me reflect on what has happened in this world during that tree's lifetime, and then looking at it from my perspective, what I have experienced as a human, me, in such a short period of time of this tree's existence on this planet. It's kind of sobering to think of things that way. But in a good, positive way, it kind of wakes you up to reflecting on your own life and what you do with your own life and what you've accomplished with your life and what things we've put off that we've always wanted to do and we haven't done, for instance. So yeah, anyway, I'll leave with that thought, and yeah, highly recommend that you get out, go for a walk and try and find the oldest tree and just stand under it, hug it, touch it, feel it, walk around it, admire it, and just be absorbed by the fact that this tree has been around for such a long time. And even if you find a tree that's only maybe as old as you are, again, reflect on what that tree's done in your lifetime. It's quite a sobering thought, but also a good way of meditating and reflecting on your own life. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again in another video.